Ever wondered why the conflict in Ukraine is still ongoing years after it began? It's a complex situation with deep roots, so let's break it down. First, we have to look at history. The relationship between Russia and Ukraine is centuries old and incredibly complicated. For many in Russia, Ukraine is seen as historically and culturally intertwined, not as a fully separate nation. This perspective clashes directly with Ukraine's strong sense of national identity and its desire for sovereignty, especially after gaining independence in 1991. This fundamental disagreement over history and identity is a major reason the conflict is so hard to resolve. Then there's the simple fact that neither side is willing to back down. For Ukraine, this is a fight for their very existence as a nation. They are defending their homes, their freedom, and their right to choose their own future, including their alliances with groups like the European Union and NATO. Giving up is simply not an option. For Russia, the goals are more complex, involving security concerns about NATO expansion and asserting its influence in the region. Retreating now would be seen as a significant geopolitical defeat. Of course, we can't ignore the international dimension. Ukraine has received massive support from Western countries, including weapons, financial aid, and training. This has allowed Ukraine to resist far more effectively than many expected. On the other hand, this support is seen by Russia as direct involvement by the West, turning the conflict into a larger proxy struggle. This global involvement adds fuel to the fire, making a simple bilateral solution nearly impossible. Peace talks have been attempted multiple times, but have consistently failed. Why? Because the core demands of each side are currently non-negotiable. Ukraine insists on the full restoration of its territory, including all regions occupied since 2014. Russia is unlikely to ever agree to these terms. Without a middle ground that both can accept, meaningful negotiations are at a standstill. Finally, there's the constant risk of escalation. Any major move by either side could potentially draw in other countries and lead to a much wider, more devastating war. This fear of a larger conflict creates a delicate and dangerous stalemate, where both sides continue to fight, but are cautious about taking steps that could trigger a global catastrophe. So, how does it end? The possibilities are difficult to predict. It could be a prolonged war of attrition, a frozen conflict with no formal resolution, or a negotiated settlement that might require painful compromises from everyone involved. What's certain is that a lasting peace will require addressing all these complex layers. Thanks for watching. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into world events.